Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is day 5, the last day of foundation week. Kind of sad it's over, but I had such a great time doing this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, or just comment down below. Let me know if you did. I would definitely like to do this again. It was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to kind of like really dive into one category. So I am ending this week off with a bang. Today's foundation is the Cle de Peau The Foundation. It has an SPF 21 and I have it in the shade 020. So this foundation is something that I had been wanting to try for a very, very long time. So I actually purchased this quite some time ago. So I've been playing with it quite a bit this past month, I want to say. And so this video is going to be a little bit different from the last 4 videos of this week where I did like a demo and some thoughts, a check-in, and a final review. Today's video is just going to be a review. I have some footage that I'm going to bring in of me using this foundation with different tools throughout this past month. I'm just going to throw that in and talk through it. So we're just going to be talking about this particular foundation, my experiences with it, my recommendations for like which skin type I think would be good with this foundation. So if you're interested in hearing more about the Cle de Peau The Foundation, then just keep on watching. So happy Friday. I can't believe we made it to the end of foundation week, and I really did save the best for last. So this is the Cle de Peau The Foundation. It's the one that comes in this really incredibly beautiful, beautiful jar. It is like 5 pounds. It's very heavy. It's probably like a solid pound. You can use it as a paperweight, use it as a weapon. It is very, very heavy, very, very luxurious. And it also comes with a little gold spatula. And it also comes with its own little stand for the foundation and the spatula. So I kept this for this review, but I think I'm going to be tossing this because I don't usually set my makeup out on my vanity. I usually kind of keep it put away. Definitely a nice touch if you do want to keep it out on your vanity, and something that looks this pretty you probably may want to. So I purchased this from Bergdorf. It is $250. So I have never used a Cle de Peau foundation before. I also have never used any Cle de Peau skincare. So I don't have much to like compare it to. I feel like when I've mentioned this in the past, people have asked me to compare it to their other foundations. I'm sorry, I don't have that reference point. But let me go ahead and read off of the Cle de Peau site some of the claims that it makes for this particular foundation. It is ultra luxurious. I will agree with that. Buildable, sheer to medium coverage, blurs imperfections, skin perfectly even toned, luminous, cashmere to the touch. Developed from unprecedented skincare science, this lightweight foundation contains radiance boosting exclusive illuminating complex EX, which moisturizes, rejuvenates, retexturizes, and visibly repairs environmental skin damage for smoothing, radiant coverage. So the exclusive illuminating complex EX, I think, is the proprietary complex that Cle de Peau has in its skincare. Again, I am not familiar with it, so I can't speak to that, and I don't have any experience with any sort of long-term effects of this particular complex. I think it takes, for me personally with skincare, I think it takes at least 3 months to see if it's something that your skin has actually benefited from or hasn't benefited from. So that was the general description of it. So it goes on to name the key benefits. It does contain the illuminating complex EX, which I think its main purpose is to diminish the appearance of damage caused by dryness and to bring visible improvement to skin by providing hydration and a smooth, refined texture. It is a unique gel oil base, blurs imperfections rather than covering them with powders, leaving you with a soft focus finish, reduces visible signs of dryness and the appearance of fine lines while promoting an appearance of firmness and resilience, features a smooth texture, parallels the application of a luxurious skin cream, maintains beautiful coverage, keeps skin looking smooth and refined all day, retexturizes, replenishes moisture all day, formulated with ingredients that protect natural beauty. Basically, it has SPF, formulated with a fragrance of natural rose essence that inspires feelings of elegance and luxury. So yes, there is a little bit of a fragrance. We'll just start there. It is the Cle de Peau fragrance. I feel like if you've purchased any other Cle de Peau products and it's had a fragrance before, it's the same one. It's the same kind of like rose type of fragrance. It's very, very pretty. I don't know if it's because I'm used to it by now, but I can smell it when I'm applying it, but within a couple minutes, I feel like it dissipates. So it's not one that lingers, and it's definitely not overpowering, which is really, really good. So I think I mentioned in the intro that I do have it on my face today, but I also have some of the Cle de Peau loose powder on all over my face. I don't have any concealer. So I will agree with the fact that this is a light to medium coverage. It is buildable. I only have one layer on and I feel like it is kind of right smack in between light and medium. So let me just right off the bat tell you that I love this foundation. This is like my new go-to everyday foundation. Now you guys have heard me rave about the La Mer foundation. I love that foundation, but that foundation has higher coverage to me. As soon as I put the La Mer foundation on, I feel like it's straight up medium coverage. I can build it up to like a medium full, and I believe that foundation also has some skincare benefits to it, but I feel like that foundation is definitely more of a foundation before it's skincare. So for me, the La Mer foundation is great if I want kind of like a full-on kind of glam look, if I'm going out that evening, if I really want something flawless, if I feel like my skin is really imbalanced or the coloring is uneven, then I will definitely reach for my La Mer. But this is the foundation that I've been reaching for this past month when I feel like my skin just needs a little bit more nourishment, when I want something that's a little bit more everyday, because you can really put this on with a very light hand. Just dab a little bit all over your face and you can just apply it very nicely and you get this really even, beautiful layer of foundation. It's really stunning. This foundation definitely goes on more like a cream than it does a foundation. So it takes a while for it to kind of sink into your skin, and so it takes a little bit for it to actually kind of set, and it never sets down completely. It is a very emollient type of formula. When they said that it's like a gel oil formula, that is an excellent description of exactly what it is, because the gel makes it very kind of slippy, you know, it goes on the skin, it really glides, but you can see and you can feel the oils in it. So I tried applying this foundation with a number of different tools. I used a duo fiber brush like this Sonia G Base 1 brush, which as you guys know is my favorite. And when I use this brush, and I'm going to show you some footage of me applying this, I have to spread it out with the brush with kind of like longer strokes. And then I kind of let it set a little bit, and then I'll go in with small circular motions to kind of buff it in. Otherwise, you're going to get those streaks that you get when you apply foundation that's too wet with a brush. I also tried using it with a sponge, and you'll see here that it goes on very nicely. I'm using the Sonia Kashuk sponge from Target. It goes on beautifully with the sponge. And again, it doesn't set down very quickly, so I had to go over it with the sponge, you know, quite a few times to make sure there weren't any sort of like spongy marks. You guys know what those are. So it worked well with the sponge, but it's not my preferred method because one, the sponge is damp and it's adding moisture to this already kind of moist gel and oil based foundation, and you're adding water to it. So I don't think it ruined the coverage. I don't think it made it look funky in any way, but it just wasn't my favorite. And to top it all off, I felt like with the sponge, I used twice as much of the foundation to get a similar coverage. And then lastly, I went in with a synthetic haired foundation brush, and I used the Hourglass Vanish foundation brush. I really like this one because it has an angled dome top and it's really dense. So I went in with this one, and this one worked just as well as the Sonia G Base 1 brush. I would use either of these foundation brushes. You can see that it just blends in easily, goes on very smoothly, very nice. But again, just don't forget that it sets down slowly, so you have to be a little bit patient with it. Of course, you can go ahead and spread it around with your fingers. I did apply it with my hands one morning. I forgot to take footage of that, but because it goes on like a cream, it's fine. Like, you just kind of have to like work it into your skin a little bit. Okay, so those were the different application techniques that I tried, and I definitely prefer the brush over the sponge. Now, in terms of skin type and who I would recommend this for, I have, as you guys know, I think at this point, I have very dry, sensitive skin. I'm in my mid-40s, and I think this is perfect for me. I think it is absolutely perfect for me. It is great for dry skin because it is incredibly moisturizing. And if you have dry skin like I do, I'm sure you suffer from, you know, fine lines, and this, I'm sure you guys can see, this really does, I think it said it in its key benefits, it really does camouflage fine lines. I think it's also supposed to help fine lines in the long run with its skincare benefits, but the foundation actually does camouflage the fine lines beautifully. My skin, and I hope it's coming across camera, but my skin looks flawless. I feel like my face has an aura when I put this foundation on. It just looks amazing. So I definitely would recommend this for dry, sensitive skin. I would recommend this also if you have mature skin possibly, and maybe it's normal, but I would not recommend this if you have oily skin. I think it would just be way, way too oily. Now, you guys saw in the past 4 days of my foundation reviews that I can get away generally without powdering my foundation. I think I powdered my nose for the La Mer foundation yesterday, the skin tint, because that also has skincare benefits, and La Mer is a very kind of dense skincare formula, so I wasn't surprised that I had to eventually powder my oilier part. So I'm just going to show you some footage here where I put this foundation on and I didn't powder my face. I was like, okay, it looks great, you know, it looked radiant, and I was like, let's see how this wears. So basically what I'm showing you here is, I think, the 4-hour mark after wearing this foundation with no powder. I looked like I just like dunked my face in oil. It was so shiny, and you could feel it. Like, I have never ever looked that shiny in my entire life. So at that moment I was like, okay, this is a foundation that has to be powdered, and this is a foundation that I don't think is for oily skin types. Once you powder this foundation, it is absolutely amazing. So I have, again, I think I mentioned this, I have the foundation on, I have a very light layer of the Cle de Peau loose powder on top, and my skin will look and remain at this level of radiance all day. It's like the powder just tames it and like keeps it under control all day. So I'm going to insert some footage of where I have the foundation and the powder on, and I'm doing a check-in, and my skin just looks like spot on, beautiful, absolutely flawless. So at the end of my day, this is one of the very rare foundations that if I have on during the day, at the end of the day, I am not like itching and dying to just take my makeup off. If I'm wearing any other makeup, by the end of the day, it's like, oh my God, like I have, you know, it's like there comes that point where all of a sudden you're like, whatever you're doing at that moment, you put it down, you're like, I have to wash my face. That never ever happens when I have this foundation on. It feels so good, and you just completely forget you have it on because it really, really feels like moisturizer. It just feels like I've put cream on my skin, but it looks like I've airbrushed my skin. If any of you out there have anything other than dry skin and you've used this and you've liked it, please comment down below. I would love to hear whether this works on normal, combo, and oily skin, or dry but acne prone skin. I would really, really love to hear other people's experience with this, because I think it is impeccable. I think it is really, really beautiful. I don't have any complaint with this other than I have to powder it, and I think that that is simply a result of how moisturizing it is and all the other reasons why I love it. So I purchased this foundation along with the loose powder, the concealer, and a whole kind of full face of Cle de Peau, and I am gearing up to do a full brand review. I've been playing around with all the products quite a bit for the past like month and a half since I've had all these products, and I can't wait to do the video for you because there are some amazing things in there. I'm wearing the bronzer and the highlight at the moment, and loving that. There's some things that I don't really like, but definitely keep an eye out for that. So those are my thoughts on the Cle de Peau, the foundation. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you've tried this foundation or if you have any questions at all, definitely comment down below in the comments section. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.